Our clients typically come to us for a functional aesthetic. They love the way we create comfortable, inviting interiors that is actually functional. We really want our clients' homes to feel personal. We also want them to feel very organized. So we go through the steps of making sure we know where everything goes. And I think we're innovative in a lot of the furniture and/or the space allocations. My name is Regan Baker, and I am the principal at Regan Baker Design. Today we're in my house. It's 1,800 square feet, and it is a mid-century style home. We are in Forest Knolls, which is a suburb in San Francisco. It's very foggy sometimes, but it's also very lush with greenery. Our house was built in 1961. When we bought the house, we knew that we needed to add square footage. We completely gutted it, including the exterior. I was really wanting to figure out a way to create something interesting with a very basic box. We did hire a friend of ours to consult on a lot of these waterproofing details, but they actually did help me come up with the concepts of where we're at on the exterior. So the house used to have 2 garages, and this side of the house became our entry. This is a fun tile pattern that we use with fire clay, and then we painted the door actually the same color as the tile, just to create that overall contained mid-century color blocking feel. We are in the entry. When you walk in, we have a catch-all, a drawer for everything. We really wanted to create a place where everybody could each have a hook and dump all of their stuff, a place for you to sit and put your shoes on, but also a place to hide coats. So we're in the hallway. We have a bathroom and a laundry room here that functions for this lower level, as well as the storage that we needed. Functional storage is always key. So this was actually a carve into the garage that just worked naturally because we have utilities on the other side of this wall that just allowed this millwork to be here. We're in the lower level bathroom, but also a laundry room. I love the concept and the idea of the kids being able to come in from the garage from a workout and just dumping their clothes into the laundry room. We have this antler chandelier pendant, and I loved how funky and quirky it was. I love terrazzo, and I needed it somewhere in our house, and because it's a mid-century material, it's from Concrete Collaborative, but I love that it has those peach tones and gold tones and black tones. We're now in the family room / guest / office. So one of the things that we are typically asked is a very multifunctional room. I wanted the visual when you walk in of this actual door to bifold and basically bring you and draw you out. The view back here is more eucalyptus forests. This sofa we chose is actually a sleeper sofa, which folds out. And my family, when they come over, stay here. This actual cabinet is an office that hides the office. And then of course we have this cabinet that is the TV cabinet, where a lot of video games are played these days. This poof is from Nikki Kehoe, one of my favorite vendors, an interior design firm. We also have this rug from Woven, who did all of my other rugs in my house. I personally wanted an exposed staircase and no wall here, so the house felt like a larger house, but also, again, that kind of consistency between being able to hear and see our kids and family in one area was important. This is our primary bathroom. Because it's so small, really visually I wanted to create something that actually aesthetically looked great, functional art in a way, but also made the space feel larger. The window up above was placed to basically go wall to wall so that it would feel larger and have more depth, even the shelf at the shower. What's nice about this is you can actually open the window but have privacy as well. So that's another reason why I had it up high. The tile actually, it goes floor to ceiling to create this sense of depth and overall expansiveness. The pattern creates a texture as well, which when you add texture anywhere, it is going to give that sense of depth. And when you have it in large scale, it becomes an artistic form, expanding this space, making it feel larger than it is and giving it depth because you have this amazing Ann Sachs Popham tile. I actually did a copper finish in here. A lot of people do not like mixing metals. I do. It doesn't bother me. And so I really wanted to highlight, again, the use of finding something that patinas over time. So copper, of course, will patina over time. These pieces have patinaed. It's nice, it's got that little bronzy pieces. The fact that our bathroom is not very large, I created this shelf that's made out of the same Carrara marble as the counters to create another surface for two people. We paired it with also a 2x2 ceramic tile on this side just to create some texture and interest. When you have a lot of stone in your house, too much of it can be a bad thing. So creating that warmth and overall feel with texture and pairing it in a more mosaic pattern is what I thought would be a great idea. This house does not have forced air or heat. We did radiant heat in our floors just because another way to become more efficient with our energy, but also the space. These days you do not need AC, maybe for like a week of the year. And so the idea behind maximizing space became more important than actually a functional of a heat being needed over for 1 week. So we're in the master bedroom. The first thing you'll notice is the Portatello wallpaper. My grandmother's a seamstress and she is near and dear to my heart, and I really wanted a space in our house where we could really, in a way, honor her. When I first saw this from Portatello wallpaper, I was like, this is perfect because it reminds me of my grandmother. I love the fact that this headboard is actually a custom headboard by Jovinus here, a vendor in the city that we work with quite often. The idea behind this is there's not a ton of space in this room and we needed nightstands, and so something that architecturally would have a mid-century modern nod with these like channeled tufting on the headboard was definitely something that was relating to the slats on the front of the house, to the stairs, and that I really wanted to connect in the feeling as well and bring here. The walnut is also another consistent finish that I use throughout. Again, a very mid-century modern feel. And this is Workstead light fixtures that I also am obsessed with. They're lights, they're artisanal light fixtures in New York City. Again, we carried floor to ceiling, beautiful furniture-like cabinetry that houses all of our clothes. So we have a dresser, but this is all of our hanging clothes and shoes. So this is where our laundry baskets live, as well as my jewelry and a few more hanging. But again, an extension of closet space, but the adjacency to the bathroom was actually a great way to expand that small bathroom. So this is the bar. When you first walk up from the stairs, this is the first thing you see, and I really wanted it to be a moment that said who we were. We enjoy having a nice cocktail or a glass of wine or whatnot at night, and I knew that I needed to cover up the seam in the back behind where the fridge and the wall is, and I also wanted some separation between, we have a bathroom here for privacy, just to create something that's more substantial than just a corner. And so this is an amazing piece by Fine Root here in San Francisco, a vendor who we use quite a bit for furniture. So there's this bar here, just for some detail, but if there was an earthquake, they fell off, it would it would not be a problem. That's one of my favorite pieces. So when you walk up, this is kind of a fun little thing that everybody says, ooh, what's behind there? And it's a bar. We're in the kitchen. This wall is actually designed to literally look like a blank white wall with some details, of course, of the handles. I wanted this to feel like furniture, like a built-in piece. This is the refrigerator, freezer, appliance garage, and then there's another cabinet, and then all of this is just easy access storage for pantry. This is a bar cabinet, but it's hiding the electrical for this. Forbes and Lomax, which is one of my favorite brands for light switch plates. They did this unlacquered brass, and they have toggle switches and knobs, but we did that for dimming capabilities. And then we married that finish on all of our hardware. So all of this is from O&G, beautiful hardware. And the appliance garage, which is one of my favorite things, is really fun because it extends the kitchen, which is an incredible place to do a lot of smoothies, make coffee every morning, and the toaster, but everything can literally be shut away. The hood is also plaster, similar to the fireplace, but it also mimicked the shapes of the fireplace on the other side. So there's just a simple sheetrock hood that actually matches the wall, just because I didn't want to highlight it. The actual shelf here is one of my favorite things because I don't have to open up a door to basically put up my dishes that I use every day. And so what's nice about it is my dishwasher's right here, and literally I just do this. Waterworks is one of my favorite brands. This is a burnished oiled rub bronze that doesn't patina as much as oil rub bronze. However, I still love the patina. Everything, when you put into a home, you actually have sun damage, you have wear and tear, and to me it does always feel a little odd whenever your actual plumbing finishes are staying pristine clean and they don't have any wear to them. So I always really like the idea of providing an actual finish wear well over time. It's a very timeless approach that we like to take. This bench is actually one of my favorite things. I always wanted a place to put our record player. We love vinyl as a family and really wanted this place to actually accentuate that love of our record player. And this bench was really kind of necessary because our table is so small. The idea of being able to bring this table over and provide a seat as well as not having to bring an additional chair over. I love how this turned out. Cookbook storage, but also vinyl storage on the bottom here. And then we carried the backsplash all the way over to the wall. So it really felt like this room was one big space. We're in the living room. The living room is adjacent to the kitchen and the dining room. We wanted to basically open up the space. What we did is, you'll see here these slats on the wall, mimic the actual slats on the exterior of the house. But when you walk into the living room, we have this built-in cabinet that one of our favorite go-to millworker made for us. It's for Ukiah, and it slides just because I would say in a mid-century style form. That's very much a common detail you would see, but it also saves space. So the fireplace is actually plaster. What we did is we actually pulled it out to articulate this massing, but because we wanted to create some storage on each side, I wanted to really pull this out to make it a feature. So this is plaster that matches the Benjamin Moore white dove walls. And then on the inside, we painted it black just so that it would recede and go away. We use Benjamin Moore throughout. It's called White Dove. It's actually one of my go-to favorites because it has the warmth. It's got a little bit of yellow, more taupe into it rather than a very stark white. And in our interiors, we want to have that warm feeling. And because we had so much white walls, that white needed to be warm and not super stark and cold. So on the right side of the fireplace, I created this awesome walnut cabinet because I wanted to display my objects that I've curated over time. One of the pieces that we designed around was this Sergio Rodriguez chair. It definitely has that mid-century vibe, sets the tone. The rest of the furniture are a bit more contemporary because I like to play off that juxtaposition, but the actual sofa is from Lawson Finney. Overall, mid-century modern is pretty low and stylistically wise, but also because of the placement of the kitchen to the living room, I wanted it to feel very airy still and open and not too blocked off. Because of the large windows, I didn't want stacks of drapery, and so the shades actually are integrated into the ceiling and they just come down. And it really is only for privacy at night. We don't use them during the day, so I didn't want to emphasize that. These are actually slats that we put on the front of the building. Because I have two big rectangular large windows, I wanted to break them up but also have some privacy. Of course, I'd have loved if these were actually mobile, but to save money, we just created a stagnant system where these were actually the pieces of wood that were used around our house for sensibility and also color. So this is the landing between my kids' rooms, my daughter and my sons. Richard Lang is actually the artist behind me. He does amazing work. So this is my daughter Amelia's room. She loves horses, as you can see. This wallpaper started the concept. It's one horse heads and then it's basically mirrored 4 times and then it creates a pattern, which I appreciated. You can really zone in on an actual one piece of that pattern instead of having this like overly themed bedroom. And then your art can be transitional. One of the other things is I like to design around rugs. This Moroccan rug was actually vintage, and this really kind of jump-started the palette for this room. I think one of the fun things about this in my kids' rooms is I treated them as grown-ups. So I knew that they needed a desk in the future, so we built in a desk. They have full height cabinetry that maximizes the entire top of the storage so we don't have headers you have to go into and around. So that's maximized storage, and then an adult chair with like an ottoman so they can have a place to sit and do their homework in a different area, whatnot. To maximize the feeling of height in our house, we actually created 8-foot doors instead of typical 6'8". And there was only 5 doors in our house, so it wasn't a huge deal breaker in terms of cost, but it really makes a huge difference, in my opinion. So we're in my son's room, Everett's room. He wanted a darker room. I was a little worried about that, but I think it turned out great. We used a Benjamin Moore ice formations. The wall mural that we used behind his headboard feels cosmic. It feels like it's in outer space. They're twins, so we actually mimic the room so they wouldn't get upset or think that one was favored over the other. And so they each have a desk, just like my daughter. He has shelves, and then we also maximized storage as well in here to allow storage for up here for easy access. No dresser, and cozy rug, blue tones as well, and basically very neutral but very cozy. We're standing in my kids' bathroom, but it's also a shared guest bathroom. So I wanted it to be special, but also it's really kind of a focal point. When you walk up the stairs, you actually see this wallpaper. So Portatello painted this. It's a hand-painted wallpaper. Their artisans are amazing, but they did all of the wall. And so in order to continue to appreciate it, it actually is a fabric that's hand-painted on as well. So I wanted to basically continue that when you are in the room, so you really feel like you're surrounded by art. And we paired it with the basic tile for that texture play. Also in terms of ease of cleaning, we carry the walnut through like we did and had in the kitchen, as well as a Carrara marble, something that you would actually see most likely in a mid-century modern home. We also used Waterworks in here. This is also that living finish, burnished brass. And we did a wall mounted, since we knew 2 kids were gonna be using this space. I wanted to maximize counter space. Using a wall mounted faucet is actually one of the best ways to save space. And in there, this is also Waterworks as well, matching set. The transom window here is actually similar to the window we put in downstairs. What I love about it is it shows the actual trees. Everywhere you are in the house, you feel like you're in the trees. It feels it's a wider space or bigger space because we did the window wall to wall. I would summarize the end result of this project as, I love my house. I don't ever want to sell it because we've definitely done a great job. Overall, I'm very, very happy with the end result. And I love it when people come over and say, wow, this is incredible.
People describe my work colorful, luxurious, and innovative. How I describe my work is something else. Everything in a home should be very comfortable and beautiful, but number one, comfortable. I do love exploring shape, color, and texture for sure. And I love creating experiences for people to make them feel a certain way when they're in my spaces that I design. Getting to know my client, what they're looking for, how they want to feel in their home and in their spaces, and achieving that is an ultimate goal. I am Cara Woodhouse. My design firm is Cara Woodhouse Interiors. I specialize in high-end residential design as well as some commercial. This house, when I first found it, it was a time capsule. It was a definite time warp back to 1960s. People definitely thought I was crazy when I was purchasing this home, but they did not see what I saw in it. We knew when we were purchasing this home that it was going to be a full scope renovation. This house is original from, a mid-century modern house, and we really wanted to keep the integrity of those special pieces and parts of this home because there's history to it, such as the terrazzo floor in our entrance. We found herringbone floors that were original in our living dining room and our bar room that we added into our kitchen. We love sunlight. That's like a big thing for us. And this home being this mid-century modern home, it had windows, glass everywhere. And we have original skylights in the house. It's just so special and wanted a home that felt very open. We loved how it functioned and flowed. It was a dream to find this home. We really use every single room and space in our house, even our entry. Our entry, like who hangs out in their entry? We do. Hi guys, I am Cara Woodhouse. Welcome to my home. Come on in. We came up with these flanking crystals. It's one big rock crystal that's literally cut in half and butterflied in the space. You need to bring good vibes and good energy when you walk into the entrance of our home, and it was just the perfect match. And they're really large. They're almost as tall as me on these pedestals, and one of my favorite features of this entry. Because of these, I call them picture windows, really your focus is outside and these really old trees that we have. Some of them are like 150 to 200 years old. So all the furniture kind of speaks and sings and changes depending on the time of day and lighting outside, natural light. Wanted to keep a kind of light palette with accents of green to bring the green from outside in was super important. Everyone asks me, how do I have two young boys in a house with all white furniture? I have to tell you, you have to find durable furniture and rugs that you could clean easily. We wanted to do something really playful. I always talk about in spaces, I love eye candy, and that could be anything from shape and form to texture to art. We wanted to create something fun, such as art on the rug. And I worked with a company to come up with this really fun, playful pattern of these monkeys, which I kind of say are my children, my two crazy boys that are super fun. Rugs, when you lay them out in an entire space, it really grounds your space and actually makes it appear to be larger. This is the tallest ceilings in the house. I wanted to accentuate that. Doing really large scale artwork, this lighting from this French company, Le Rouge Goyan. We have these really fun Noom chairs and did this kind of blush color. I tend to be drawn to the color pink, even though I'm not a girly girl. I do tend to love using it. Our dining table is something that I custom designed using marble, which is one of my favorite materials to design with. Anywhere and everywhere I could use it, I do. This is Panda marble, and it's an entire slab that we have soft edges, so it's curved, which a lot of things in our home are curved. I like things when they're soft and have a flow and movement to it. And then we have these really fun accessories from Sklo, which are also available on our website. They're incredible glass artisans, and we have a lot of their stuff all over our house. This wallpaper here is from a company called Portertilio. And what I love about them is it's a studio with all artists, and they all sit down at a table and paint at the same time and custom paint wallpaper. And I love that this is super light. And I normally don't do feature walls, but just thought that it would just be such a beautiful touch to kind of anchor this end part behind our dining room. We really kept a lot of the original windows. We replaced a few and redid the casing. We did replace all of the doors in our home and put in these glass doors. And we have MTech hardware everywhere throughout our house, and we absolutely love it. So interior, exterior. And we chose to do a lever handle just because it was super modern and just felt like, I don't know, the right fit for what felt good in our space. This is our kitchen. It is not a very large kitchen, and we did not expand this to make it larger, but every square inch of this kitchen was important for storage and functionality. We have our sink, garbage, everything has a place, double stack drawer, and we have these kind of throughout our kitchen. This is, again, one of my favorite stones. This is Calcutta Viola. This is when it was coming in very white. It's now coming in a little bit creamier, so I feel very lucky that we have this. It's kind of part of the art of the space, because without it, it would feel a little dead and boring. Monogram, we have all their appliances. We love Monogram. And we did this brass hood and brass accents throughout the kitchen. These are our monogram wall ovens. And one of the reasons why I'm such a huge fan of their ovens and all of their basically appliances that they create is they're very innovative, and they actually have an air fryer built into the oven, which we use for, I think, every single meal that we cook, especially having kids. I kind of wanted to keep this flow throughout the house of all these round knobs that we created in all of our custom millwork. And here we used a white oak to contrast against this kind of creamy white. This is our table from an Australian designer. I love doing a banquette. It's in vinyl, which is very easy to clean, especially with young kids. And we love having friends over, our kids' friends over. They pile in and it's so comfortable. It's kind of like a sofa. Hidden here is our refrigerator and freezer. This is a coffee bar. We wanted hidden storage, and we have a space for coffee pods. We have a space for mugs. We have our kids' pantry over here. And this was actually an original broom closet that was here originally. And we ripped that out. And what we have here is we have refrigerator drawers for our kids to just come here, their friends, they know they could come grab a drink. We have their snacks kind of organized in this section, the drawer in the drawer. And then in here, again, we have more snacks, water bottles, and extra storage. So they know that this is their spot. Don't ask us, just go grab and take. This is our bar room, which is actually original. And we refaced it in this beautiful white oak, and it did not look like this when we purchased it. But we love how it turned out. We put this onyx with this brass inlay it was actually very functional to do that because onyx is soft. So this really gave it extra structure so that it was protected. And this is our hangout. We love being in this space. We love entertaining here. My husband has become like an expertise bartender, which we love. And just wanted this to have this cozy vibe. We have this plush rug and again, a pop of playfulness color. These are Linné Rosé chairs in this really yummy velvet. Everything is super comfortable and feels just cozy. This is our only fireplace in our home, and we use it all the time during the cold season, which is kind of long in New York. When we purchased it, it was these big blocks of granite stone and wanted to have it feel elevated. So we cladded it in this beautiful, beautiful stone. Flanking the fireplace are kind of these voids. And I don't always feel like you have to fill a void or an empty space, but again, I wanted to add extra seating and warmth and texture into the space. I love the look of stacked wood, and you can burn this wood, but we don't because it is decorative. And just wanted to create, again, like a really cozy hangout, extra seating where, you know, we sometimes lay down, sometimes our kids will lay down and read a book here. And just kind of like adds an extra layer and kind of backdrop to everything that's going on here. So I'm gonna take you downstairs where all the fun happens in our home. And as we go down, we did a gallery wall with all of our family photos, which was a dream of ours to have all of this in one place. So come with me. We built this staircase coming down here because the original staircase was not to code and not very safe. So I love designing cool things underneath stairs. And because this is our family hangout and where our kids hang out the most, we want to create a little work area where they could do homework and art projects. They have their own printer set up and all their supplies. And we love how this came out underneath here. And then down here, We have lots of storage for games and overflow things that, you know, kind of you collect in your home. And we did this huge, amazing pit. It's so fun. The boys jump on this. It's literally like they could do anything to this. They have sleepovers on here, movie nights. This is a rug that I designed as well. It's a fur rug with Stark, and it kind of has this like amoeba-like rounded curvy shape. If you have kids, you know they say crazy things. And we turn these into these fun pieces of art. So I love the sounds of smells. We should get a talking cat named Pretzel. I don't want pizza, I just want Skittles. And we have an entire book of so many more, but thought that it was really cute to bring in our children's kind of past and personality into this space. This is our guest bedroom. We wanted it to feel like a very special room for any guests that come here. We're so male dominated in this house, especially 2 boys and 2 boy dogs. So I got to add my pink here. They're rosemary Hallgarten fabric. It's an alpaca linen blend. I'm still on the ombre kick. I don't think I'll ever get over it. These really beautiful glass blown lighting here, these table lamps. That's from Boma. This is also a bed that I designed with Nathan Anthony Furniture, and wanted to create something really cool, textural, and the wallpaper tend to gravitate towards a splatter, and it has these tiny little touches of pink over this green. This artwork here scattered all over, and it's colored mirror. Even though you see a lot of pattern and a lot of different funky shapes and eye candy, it really has this calming element to it that creates that mood that you want to feel when you're in the space, and wanted to really create that for our guests so they feel like they're in this special kind of gem box. We ripped out every single doorway, replaced all the doors. Again, our hardware, all M-Tech. We use these really cool, very different squared hinges. So, which is odd for me because I tend to do everything round, but I did go with the square because I thought they were just really modern, contemporary, and looked really beautiful. So this is my younger son, who's 9, his bedroom. Whenever I design children's rooms, I don't like designing age specific. So I tend to design rooms for children that they can grow into, and they could be a teenager, even an adult in their spaces, but still has very cool elements to it. The design and pattern on his dresser, this really cool pop of yellow on this Faye Toogood chair, who is a designer out of London, who I absolutely love. And again, just really cool shapes, forms, pops of color in table lamps, a pillow, and a fun, interesting pattern on his window treatment. This is our older son's bedroom. He's 13, and wanted to just kind of, again, create not an age-specific room, but something that had really cool elements and pattern and design and texture. We chose this really cool wallpaper from Elatis. It's paper that's kind of textured and kind of folded together with this kind of paint stroke going through it. This really cool oversized bed frame. And I designed this rug with this pattern with Stark carpet, some mid-century modern lights. And we loved this window up here, but it was also a little bit of an obstacle. How do we get blackout? So we made that an electric shade. And then another way to add fun pop of color in here, because it was very black and white, is adding some color in lighting, the artwork, and it's just super fun. Billie Jean, which we love Michael Jackson's music, and our kids are super musical, so thought that was very appropriate. The vintage tape deck and soccer, the Ronaldo jersey, signed jersey, adds another fun pop of color. This is our boys' bathroom. We chose this beautiful black and white terrazzo slab that is on the floors, the bathtub surround, and then we did a Carrara white marble all over the walls. And we actually chose for this bathroom to do wall-mounted fixtures. And why I love doing this, especially for kids and boys, is it is very easy to clean. You just swipe right underneath, you're not cleaning around stuff, and kids and boys could get very messy. We actually did a split finish on their door. We have chrome on one side, and then on the interior, we have a matte black finish. All of our door hardware is MTech. This is our primary bedroom, and something that's always super important about a bedroom that I like to sleep in is I love creating a very serene, light feeling in a bedroom. We spend basically half our lives in this room, so it has to be special. The baseline is white and this very icy color blue. We wanted to keep it calming again, but also have these really fun features where, you know, everywhere you turn and look, you just say, what is that? Wow. And I think we achieved that. This wallpaper is from Calico, and we designed it with them, doing all these silver leaf drips going around the room. Our bed, very, very comfortable, of course. Mattress, bedding is so important and key in a bedroom. I love using white bedding. I think it's very clean and very crisp, no matter what the palette is in your bedroom. We use this teddy fabric on these pillows, and a playful ball pillow in a blue velvet, and then this really textural, chunky knit throw blanket for the end of our bed. The bed and most of the furniture and the rug and millwork and everything, I custom designed. I love designing night tables, and these are some of my favorite, which of course feature one of my favorite materials, marble. And, you know, a bit unexpected because there's a large marble cube coming out of the end of it. And again, went with a globe light. These are from Pablo Lighting. And then this curvy, cool, kind of futuristic dresser that I designed with the company Dune out of New York. And it is super textural. It's a smooth concrete finish that has a lot of movement in it. And we designed it with really deep drawers so you could fit sweaters and lots of things in these drawers. I don't buy accessories just to kind of cover a space. They're very intentional, and they all have to be very special. So marble, this is from Paris. They're actually candle holders. And we have our Venus at Fleur flower arrangement that stays looking beautiful all year round. And then this is the one kind of funky pop of color in here, this book from Taschen, this crystal little light here. And then the rug we designed with stark carpet, and I designed kind of, again, this ombre effect, but kind of flowing lines through the space with curved edges, very soft. This is one of my favorite pieces that I've designed. It's a mirror that has my handwriting on it, dream of me, ... I think it's super playful, but super chic and elegant and unexpected and different. This bedroom, super light and soft, textural. There is some pattern going on, but nothing fights each other. I kind of married it all together to work. So this is our primary bathroom, and we used Arabescato Corchia from Arca Marble. I think when I told a few people that I was using this stone everywhere, they looked at me like I had 5 heads. We wanted to do a water room, and one of my husband's only requests in this house is that he could have an amazing bathtub. So the bathtub is inside this water room, which is also our shower. And love how this came out. We have a rain head, shower head, a regular shower head, and we have a hand spray in here, which I always recommend for every bathroom because it will make it very easy to clean. I kind of bask in the light and just kind of will sometimes do meditation or just kind of enjoy it and relax. I mean, every space, even the outdoor spaces, every inch of this home is really used to the max.
People describe our work a couple different ways. I would say layered. There's a recent client that I loved. She said, your work has weight to it. That was like the coolest thing. There's depth. It feels like people live there. It feels like where somewhere would want to live. This is our 20th anniversary. Kitchen Lab was our first business. It morphed into Kitchen Lab Interiors in 2006 when we did our first whole house in Highland Park. The other thing that was a big influence is while I was in college at the Art Institute of Chicago, School of the Art Institute of Chicago, my husband, now husband, then boyfriend, was gutting a 1890s brownstone in Wicker Park. And I walked in while it was gutted and I saw all the plaster and lath and all of the, the bare bones and the joists and all these like 100-year-old wood beams and whatever. And I was like, this is what I want to do. My name's Rebekah Zaveloff. And we're based in Chicago. The name of our firm is Imparfait Design Studio. We also own another firm called Kitchen Lab Interiors. We're based in Chicago, but we work in Michigan, California, and Miami. This client came to us after having called a couple times looking at multiple houses and condos. They were downsizing. They lived nearby here. They looked at condos, they looked at some houses, and every time they started looking, it was usually she wanted something small and the husband wanted a little bit more room. So it was a real challenge to find exactly what they wanted. They were doing this so that they could buy a place in Palm Springs or Palm Desert, and that was absolutely the directive from day one. So clearly they have a thing for mid-century modern because of going out to Palm Springs. And to find a house like this in Winnetka is insane. Like, you don't find houses like this in the North Shore of Chicago very often. They just don't exist. There's some newer modern ones, but certainly not of this era. It had an incredible art collection, but to say it was dated is an understatement. I mean, it literally had not been touched. The siding was in not great shape. There were some really weird elements to it, but mostly one of the biggest challenges was the layout of this room that we're in right now, because it's very asymmetrical, and we do the tour, you'll get to see that more. But it's the fireplace is off center, the rooms are small, and how to make it feel like it's living big. I cannot tell you how much I love this home. Like, I just think that it's one of the coolest houses that I've ever been in. I've never been in a house like it. I've been in lots of mid-century modern houses. We almost put a third floor on it. We analyzed trying to figure out whether or not they needed more space because the bedrooms are not huge. We really encourage the homeowners to just embrace that for the one time a year that maybe all their kids come home. They're gonna be here in the summer. So the holidays don't really fall in the summer. So why do you need that much more space? Hi there, come on in. I want to start with the foyer and the entrance because this was our first puzzle to have to solve. This amazing brick floor was original to the house. It was carpet when it was first built. We wanted to use the original brick floor, so we were able to do an engineered wood floor with a very slight threshold. This fluted wall, this is original, even though it is super trendy right now. This is original. But there were these tiny, skinny little windows that were like 3 windows in a row. They looked like they were made here on site. So all those got replaced with solid glass. It was just not cost effective to try and replace those windows. Plus, it just didn't make sense for the design. Follow me in here. This room is the coolest room in the house. So asymmetrical, and it posed huge challenges for design and furniture layout. But it gave us this opportunity to kind of do a mid-century modern salon type of vibe where you have 2 rooms that are open to each other like in a Victorian, but it's not a Victorian and there's no cased opening. This fireplace is so cool. So as you can see, it is off center, and then it has a little hallway on the side that probably nobody has ever used in the history of this house being built. And obviously we were not gonna touch this. It's gorgeous. Even the brass trim detail is original. We did have to replace the brick that was here that matched the foyer. So we replaced it with a natural unglazed Liège tile that we actually cut in half. So these are 2x6s that we cut into this size in order to get them to fit perfectly. It's completely custom looking, it's awesome, and the color is perfect for what the house palette is. In here, we have Philip Jeffries wallpaper on all the walls. It's a grass cloth. It's beautiful and perfectly like suited to the home. We did not want to go with a Mad Men style vibe. We wanted this to feel very welcoming and comfortable, but the furniture all had to be small scale. I mean, it really did. So we had to really search for pieces that would work in here. This piece here is vintage. It's from Evan Reed. These are both Thayer Coggan pieces because they're very small scale. And the era of those pieces is also appropriate to the era of the home. You're not looking at a 44-inch deep restoration hardware sofa in here. It would never work. I am a huge fan of game tables and low lounge height game tables. It's something I've been obsessed with since I was like 25. So we found this beautiful travertine table and chairs separately. They did not come together. I had an idea in my mind for the chairs and we were able to find something that was perfect. The rugs are both 1960s era Ushak. They are both from Jubin Rugs, one of my favorite suppliers that I met at High Point, but they're based in Atlanta. I own a rug from them in my own living room, same era. I always go to them and another one of our one-of-a-kind dealers down there for rugs first and foremost, because I always know I'm gonna find what I need, almost always. High Point Market is so impossible to describe because it's not a trade show. I call it a company town. It is where a lot of the furniture in America is made. North Carolina is known for that. Today I'm at High Point Furniture Market, which everybody thinks is all furniture, but it is so much more than that. We're at Shop Object today. This is a new initiative for them. I think it's their second year or second market. It's gotten even better. There are so many textiles, ceramics, objects, artisans, small makers that you wouldn't find elsewhere unless you just happened on their city or on Instagram. And the amount that our team can get done in 4 days here, it would take us 6 months to source this product elsewhere. As a designer, it was a game changer for our company completely. Like when we started going to High Point, my husband would say this too, it is literally has been a game changer for us because we can plan, we have all our projects, we have a list of things that we need, we have all our measurements, and we literally come down and get to see all of it in one place. There's a soul and an intention and a passion for this stuff that when people made these things 50, 60, 70, 100 years ago, it wasn't so focused on profit, margins, and things like that. It was like they love doing it. You can see that. Things have just been passed down. I mean, look at this. Look at the patina on this table. These are adorable. Oh my God, I love these. These are so cute. I love baked enamel. The 2-tone, the 3-tone, these are so cute. This looks like a little recipe box. Absolutely anything organically shaped, I'm a huge fan of. There's another company that I bought product like this from, but these are really unique and beautiful. And I love how they show the wood without trying too hard. They're really, really natural and the shapes are just beautiful. So this room is actually where the sectional is and the television. There's an Eames reading chair as well. So it serves two purposes. You can hang out and read and look at the fireplace, or you can sit on the sofa and look at the TV. But it's not TV focused. Like you barely notice the TV. You don't see it from the street. It's sort of tucked away, which I think is huge. This sofa is awesome. It's actually a new Thayer Coggan. Most people think of Thayer Coggan when they think vintage, but this is actually a new one. And we did it in a gorgeous green velvet. This is one of the first things that we picked. We knew we were gonna do a green sofa. This is truly my favorite room in the house. I have like this thing for 70s glam. It's just the way I was raised. I mean, I think it was like growing up in the disco era a little bit, and I just love it. So I knew what I wanted to do with this room. Immediately, I talked to our lead designer, Bonnie, and I was like, okay, we have to find a smoked glass table, like perfect. The fact that we found one that wasn't round, but it's more of like, what is this, an octagon or something? Incredible. Milo Bauman vintage chairs. The rug is Nordic knots. So we took a rectangular rug and had it cut. We do that a lot. My lead designer thinks I'm nuts. I will cut down wood furniture legs. I will cut down rugs. I will do anything I can to make something work. The sconces are from Artemis. The chandelier is incredible. That's from Incollect. And all the artwork is the client's original artwork that we hung. We worked with a partner that's in Chicago that helps us hang art, and I love doing that for clients. It's one of my favorite things. More Philip Jeffries grass cloth wallpaper in a slightly different tone. It's a little bit ashier. It's beautiful with all of these warm tones. I'm a big believer in mixing cool and warm tones. I think it makes for more timeless design. If everything's one color, if it's all one look. And so mixing warm and cool tones and giving the room a little bit of balance. I'm also not a big matchy person, so I would never try to match the wallpaper to the rug. It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't want it to clash, but there's something in between matching and clashing that I think is like my sweet spot that I love. Over here, this is one of my favorite details, is this brass shelf. Again, leaning into the asymmetry. The Hudson Valley Lighting Group sconces here, mixing our brasses. Don't be afraid to mix brasses. You've got a polished brass, you've got an unlacquered brass, another sort of in between, and these are a little bit more satin. As long as you're mixing like 4 or 5 different brasses, it works. Love the mirror, love the asymmetry of this. We did a couple different studies of this with multiple shelves, with something in the middle. So happy the client embraced asymmetry because it made this job so much more fun. One of the things about this kitchen that we changed is, and when we look the other direction, you'll see that we actually moved the door. But right now we kept the brick wall. It was amazing. Right here is where the kitchen stopped before. There was a wall right here, and this is how you got into the kitchen. And it was a U-shaped kitchen, completely 1950s vibe, tiny as can be, 3 feet in between the counters. You could not believe it. So in here, what you're looking at is a Hudson Valley light fixture for over the island, which turned out just perfectly. I mean, we didn't want anything to really obstruct the glass and the views and the foliage from outside. It just felt like a natural thing. I also really love the idea of not doing multiple pendants in a kitchen like this. It just felt like the right call. A honed quartzite countertop, which is natural material, not to be confused with quartz, which is man-made. Really beautiful warm tones again. Layering our whites. So our cabinetry is Athena. It's one of my favorite colors from Benjamin Moore. I use it almost exclusively. Obviously, the natural brass hood is a total showstopper. That's really fun. I love that this client wasn't afraid to mix brass and stainless. Again, mixing metals, mixing types of metals is what makes it interesting. When everything is one finish, it's just really boring. I remember like 10 years ago searching for images where I was trying to find a brass faucet with a stainless sink, and I could not find anything. Okay, now we do it all the time and I don't even think about it. In fact, I looked over there, I'm like, oh, I forgot we did that. So it's funny, people agonize over it and then they get over it after they see image after image, and they're finally like, okay, I've seen it on Pinterest, I've seen it on Instagram. It's like, okay, you can mix your metals. It's really hard to mix stone. Unless you have a mosaic that has multiple stone types or colors in it, it's hard to mix slabs of stone. They fight each other. It looks like a mistake. So one of the rare exceptions to that is when you mix a quartzite with a Calacatta marble. Calacatta marble is like the reverse of the quartzite, and so they work together, they speak to each other. So the veining in the Calacatta sort of relates to the color tone of the quartzite, and so there's a relationship there. The walnut and the brass and the Calacatta together, it's just like, oh, it's delicious. So Thermador appliances, you can see there's a French door here, a little pantry there. Unlacquered brass faucet from Waterstone, one of my favorite faucet makers. I love tall cabinets, I prefer them. I think they get you more storage and they allow you to have an airier kitchen on the function side so that you don't feel so utilitarian. So over here, you can fit so much more in a 12-inch deep cabinet that's tall, because the area that you're using the most of, that's the most ergonomic, is usually where your backsplash should be. The powder room we actually added to this house. This is my second favorite room in the house besides the dining room. I love this room. More Philip Jeffries wallpaper, grass cloth, more of a pink, mauve again, that kind of color, but it's so sophisticated when used the right way with the right materials. This gorgeous sink is actually from Etsy. My joke was like, okay, if it comes and it's a piece of crap, or it breaks, or it doesn't fit, or whatever it is because it's coming from Turkey, then whatever, I'll keep it. You know what I mean? And we'll figure out an alternative. But we took a chance and went for it. And it is seriously the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Perfect size for the bathroom, gorgeous detailing, this marine edge that you see here, Waterworks on lacquered brass wall mount faucet, Hudson Valley Lighting Group light fixtures throughout, and tile bar mosaic floor tile that's one of my favorites. So in here, we're walking into the master suite. Originally, this was not how this was set up. The bathroom was much smaller. It was here, and the door to the master suite was like here. In this hallway here, there was a wall, but we added a closet, and we put the door on the bedroom side so that you have this feature wall for art as you walk through. More Philip Jeffries grass cloth wallpaper in a different colorway. Grass cloth is obviously very era appropriate, but it's also all the light in here, and the way that it hits the grass cloth is just, it's to die for. Client's original art, another one of the Visual Comfort art lights, which is so fun. That's a brand new one that we found at High Point a couple years ago. It was one of their new launches. This little room is kind of a trip. It is the perfect size office, and if it didn't have a wall of windows, it would be claustrophobic as hell. And this is one of the coolest details on the house. It's this weird, like, cantilever thing that has walls with openings but no windows and no roof. It's very strange, but it's one of the cooler parts of the house. So we did this built-in area with the desk and shelves and more of the wallpaper, and another rug that we had to cut down to fit the house. So if you have an awkward sized room in your house, you'd be surprised how much you can do with a little room. We kept trying to figure out where to put the husband's office in this house, but this was like perfect and it made sense. This is the guest bath. It's the hall bath. The two guest bedrooms share this bathroom, which is, again, part of the charm of this house. It's very unique and very original to the era. People did not have ensuite bathrooms everywhere. Bedrooms were smaller. That's just part of it, and that's part of the charm. So we went kind of crazy with the bathrooms. We had a lot of fun. The husband is colorblind, and so we were able to do tons of pinks, which the wife absolutely loved, and it was so fun to be able to take some chances this way. So in here we have this beautiful rose Elige pink wall tile that's vertical that we stacked for a much more modern look, but then again, not wanting to go cold, modern, typical mid-century, we wanted it to have patina. It has chipped edges. It's just gorgeous. It works so well. It's so versatile. Unlacquered brass, everything, whether it's the hardware or the Waterworks plumbing fixtures, which are beautiful. This is a new thing for me. I've decided I hate handles on shower doors. I don't know why. They just bug me. And they're just they're too specific. They're very utilitarian. I'm just bored with them. So we started doing these knobs, and it makes me so happy. So it just feels very vintage. It's kind of fun. This awesome terrazzo floor is another thing that we brought to the table for this project. It's a large format terrazzo, so it's really unique. They're tiles, so it's not a full terrazzo where it's poured. And then we ran it up the wall with a Carrara bullnose tile to separate, as well as to cap the top of the Elige. Because one of the problems with the Elige is that you can't finish, you have to finish the edges, and the trim pieces can be pretty expensive. So this part of the house is super cool. We actually investigated putting a third floor on. So it's a split level, like I said, so you sort of have a half staircase, up and a half staircase down. So the easiest thing in the world would have been to add a landing and just go straight up to the flat roof right here. So we designed it, we space planned it, and then we priced it out, and the clients decided that they didn't need it. And so I think that was a great decision, because they were gonna have a second home for the winter months in Palm Springs, and it just wasn't necessary. And this light fixture from Visual Comfort is stunning. It is such a feature. It's just this super cool sculptural piece that you see from everywhere in the house. So this is the master bedroom. It's beautiful. It's very serene. Again, scale very appropriate to the size of the house. And we did these custom side tables from First Dibs in this gorgeous, gorgeous like mauve color. Beautiful mohair headboard and a lighter camel color, and these fabulous light fixtures that we found an inspiration image and then we're able to actually track down. This color palette is sort of a study in monochromatic, but it's not all one color. So it's very much layering different tones of similar colors. So for example, the rug has a little bit of purple in it and like 3 different beiges in it. So we're really taking cues from more natural fibers and natural dyes and then applying them to all of the other materials. So for example, the pillow, the side tables, they pull from the rug, but they don't match the rug. These are way more pink than the rug is more purple. There's a weird tension between some of the colors, for example. So this camel colored headboard is like a much golder version of this kind of tone than say the wallpaper, which goes a little bit more ashy. I love that because it creates depth. And then obviously you have the creams and the beiges and the whites in the bedding and the whites and the paint colors. So it's just, I'd say there's probably like 16 colors in this room if you really were to sit down and analyze it. This is the master bath, and it is so fun. Again, totally amazing client, went for the crazy tile that we selected. It has a brass inlay. This is from Tile Bar, and it has the pinks and the grays and the whites, and the pink marble is just gorgeous because it's got so much variation in it. And again, you'll notice like the Zalige tile that we used as the base trim doesn't match perfectly, but that's part of what's interesting about it. So I just tell people, like, don't stress about that. When you layer enough off colors, they all tend to work together. We also have the stacked white Zalige on the walls, which has tons of natural variation. And so again, it goes, if this were all porcelain or even a ceramic with a glaze that was really consistent, this bathroom would be kind of sterile. So I love the idea of using something that has way more life to it, and imperfections and patina. And then this Teak Vanity is one of my favorite companies. I have them in my own house. I spec them so much right now, I should work for them. This is Willow Home. They've got little, I think they have little like soap things. You've got soft closed drawers. It's that reeded finish. But mostly, and I know the reeded thing is again really trendy, but I don't think that this kind of style is going to go out of style where it's an inset. It's an example of like, it's not just modern. So it's an inset cabinet with the reeded detail, and more waterworks, unlacquered brass faucets, and visual comfort lights are actually the hand rubbed antique brass, which works beautifully with the unlacquered brass. I feel so calm. Like if I went to a spa, I would be so happy if it looked like this. Like I don't like cold, sterile places, and I don't like mail it in design where everything's one color, but this is a lot of neutrals and it's very, very serene, but it feels very cozy. And I could imagine this in the middle of the woods somewhere. I could imagine this in Palm Springs. I could imagine this kind of house anywhere. And it feels like that's what I'd want it to feel like the common spaces at like a little boutique spa type of place. I hope other people feel that way when they're here.
Studio Thomas James varies greatly. One thing that you're always going to see is a lot of attention to relating back to the architecture, a lot of work on the architecture in the very early stages of the project to sort of get the bones right. Scale and proportion are kind of the unifying elements that are always present in our project. I'm Philip Vanderford, the principal designer at Studio Thomas James. Our firm is based in Dallas, Texas, and we really do work all over the world. Today, we're at one of our clients' houses. The fun thing about this particular project, it's actually the 4th house that we've done for this particular client. But they needed like really casual places for the family to like have fun and that were indicative of their young children. But then they also needed their grown-up entertaining spaces. and then transitional spaces that were for like just a casual evening. So we really had three sort of dynamics that we were working with in this house. The client has a great backdrop. They have a really, really deep and interesting collection of art. The house is really beautiful when we first installed, but it's just kind of this continued evolution that's really makes this particular project, I think, special. We were able to change some things about the architecture, detailing both on the interior and the exterior that made it really specific to their needs. You actually see the entry from the street. So we wanted a piece of art here that really gave a lot of power. And so we ended up finding this Donald Martini piece that was in a really bright, saturated red. We created this wall-hung console that we executed in marble. And then we had a local rug maker here do a custom rug for us in a complementary black and white motif. So for the living room, we primarily were going for like an adult entertainment space. Iconic modern pieces mixed in with custom to get the exact scale right. And then we also mixed in art and sculptural pieces as well. A Ralph Lauren piece that's done in unlacquered brass, and it has a deep ink colored navy. Custom walnut cocktail tables that we made just to get the scale perfect for the space. And then we also had the same manufacturer make a custom walnut credenza. We've also kind of mixed in iconic modern pieces, a beautiful print done by a British photographer that's kind of a playful moment in the room. For the dining room in this home, we wanted to bring some pieces over from their previous home. And so we actually had done this burl dining table for a previous residence. The Trove wallpaper, it's a really bold statement in the room. And then also with the contemporary hand-done lighting. And so we really loved how this was an opportunity to mix some like vintage finds with new pieces. For the kitchen of this project, one of the main focal points is this beautiful Anne Sachs parquet mosaic that we installed, took it all the way to the ceiling, eliminated the sort of expected upper cabinetry, and replaced that with really strong, vibrant art pieces. Really made it a space that doesn't just scream kitchen. And also, you know, was a wonderful moment because you do spend so much time in the kitchen. We love the idea of giving you, you know, beautiful art as opposed to all cabinetry. And then in order to make this kitchen very functional, we sort of did this large wall of all of our sort of like function and storage and all of that sort of hidden and very secondary. And it allows you to really focus on the beautiful tile and the beautiful art. We actually did these built-in pieces with self-returning swivels. So it's actually keeps the kitchen looking perfect at all times. And they're a really big, generous scale that kind of counterbalances the large scale of the island. And so they're extremely comfortable. So this has become a favorite spot. Classic modern dining table in that, and is really played off well by this new installation of this apparatus fixture. So we actually have an important Richard Serra piece. It's not hidden in the gallery where you're not all the time. It's, you know, very front and center. And we also incorporated some beautiful Holly Hunt upholstery, which again may not be the innate knee-jerk reaction for sort of a casual lounge area, but we thought it was really, really beautiful, and we love the idea that this gets used every day. Welcome to the bar. The clients do a ton of entertaining. So we wanted a really strong, durable countertop material, and then we also wanted something elevated for the bar that had a lot of interest, but that also performed really well. So we went with this Art Deco inspired glazed porcelain by Anne Sachs. And because it being a glazed porcelain, it's extremely durable, but still has this really rich black and gold appeal. And it was such a beautiful backdrop for the contemporary graffiti art. For the office, in this instance, both clients work from home quite a bit. So we needed a space that was beautiful, but that was also quite functional. So we did custom built-ins that we created that complement the desk, that are packed full of sort of that everyday storage. And we actually had found an antique desk that was not quite the right scale and proportion for the space. So we actually custom made this particular desk based on that style and came up with something really, beautiful, dramatic, and still made it functional for their needs. This color is Nightfall by Benjamin Moore. And the high gloss lacquer allows you to take a space or take a color that's quite dark, but because of the gloss, it actually still has a lot of light and a lot of life. And we were totally into the mix in this space. We have this, hand knotted rug. We have a couple of vintage contemporary pieces. This is actually one of our most favorite spaces in the house. The homeowner really loves this space because with the opening of the doors, it just gives a great extension of the living space. And we furnished it with some beautiful Janice at Sea and Baker outdoor furnishings. We've incorporated these spun stools, little whimsical moment. We have this Twitter blue gorilla that's sort of a fun contemporary moment. So for the main powder bath, we started with this beautiful Anne Sachs mosaic. And with the scale of the space, we loved using something that was a little bit smaller and had a ton of visual impact. And we used that as a basis to create this custom wallpaper where we played with the scale of the fish and the color, and we sort of married those things together. Quite often playrooms are the last rooms that are thought of when it comes to design. The family really wanted a space that everybody could come together, and they wanted something that really felt well designed, but that also functions. We have tons of storage. We created this sectional out of indoor-outdoor fabric, so it's beautiful, but it also works really hard for them. For this media room, we worked with Elliston Systems of Dallas and created this kind of magical space. So they incorporated so much great technology into this media room, and it has this beautiful ceiling that gives the illusion of stars. So one thing that we wanted for this room is it really feel like an extension aesthetically of the rest of the house. David Hicks pattern carpet that was from Stark, and really felt like that it set off the other kind of dark black accents. Using like a really bold carpet and something that's really strong and iconic is a great way to start to layer a lot of like solids and sort of functional pieces on top of it. So we're really always cognizant of making bold choices. So for the primary bedroom, one of our jumping off points here was this beautiful smoke wallpaper from Trove. And so that was sort of the first inspiration that we pulled from. And then we did these really, really interesting bedside tables and had those done custom. Based on the scale of the space, we just needed something that was really overscaled. Lots of texture and layering going on here. Beautiful metaphors, fabric, like a heavy, rich wool textured carpeting. And then that really is a great backdrop for some of the contemporary art pieces. Blue and white porcelain that we actually had brought over from a previous property that we had done together. With the volume of space and these big, beautiful windows looking right out in the pool, it's just sort of a magical moment and just feels really, really wonderful. And the way it's tucked around in the corner of the house, it really kind of creates this like great private oasis. For the primary bathroom in this house, we really wanted something that was a really special moment. So in looking for tile, we resourced this beautiful cube mosaic from Anne Sachs that's built up of a collection of Katia marble. It really is this sort of like beautiful, unexpected moment. And we decided to take the material all the way through into the shower, on the back accent wall of the shower, up on the ceiling of the shower. And I think that's what really kind of makes this sort of this dramatic moment in setting an accent marble into the backsplash, just to kind of play off that mixture of materials and play off the floor. We also had this tub done by Victoria and Albert. And so it also kind of played into our black and white tile and the tension between those two materials. What I like about this particular project is we have contemporary moments, clean moments, we have textural moments. It's not really overly slated in any particular design direction, so it feels natural and very easy with a bit of evolution.
People would typically describe our work as being a very broad range. We really try to gauge every single project and design it specifically for the client. In all of our projects, we're incredibly detail-oriented. The smallest details make the biggest impact. Scale, balance, we are not afraid to use bold color or mix patterns, mix finishes. Being from New Orleans, I always try to sneak a gas lantern in there somewhere. Eddie Maestri, I'm an architect and designer with Maestri Studio Architecture and Interior Design. We're based in Dallas, Texas. We do projects all throughout North Texas. We have projects in Las Vegas right now, Tennessee, Oklahoma, and in New York. Today we are at my home in Dallas, Texas, Villa Cali. We had been looking for a new house for quite a while. We have twin boys who are now 9 years old. We found this house randomly on Trulia one day. The best part about it, it was completely untouched since it was built in 1971. And the biggest thing that we wanted to do was to pay homage to the original design intent. I started with images that I've saved for years, from publications, from Pinterest, from magazines, the things that we love. A lot of our existing furniture just seemed to fit exactly here, like it was always meant to be. This is our living room, so it's kind of a formal living room. Having kids, we really wanted a space that we could go to as adults and entertain. And we wanted a space that we could live in without a television. This room was perfect. You know, the volume of the room was just a really nice scale, the abundance of light. So we kept, for the most part, all of the original details throughout: the terrazzo, the rock fireplace, the original handrail. The kids will come in here and read, do their music lessons, and when we entertain, it's where everybody gathers. So we have another room upstairs, that's another family room, and that's an area where we will watch TV as a family, we'll do family game night, we'll occasionally eat up there in front of the TV. I wanted it to be a space that felt cozy, more inviting, a little bit more whimsy. Another low ceiling of 8 feet, so we did the high gloss lacquer on the ceiling in there as well. I wanted this space to feel cozy and inviting, and I really wanted to take advantage of the walls to display different art pieces that we've collected over the years. Some of it we collect on travels, and also little pieces that just are important to us. So of course you have to have a television in the space, and I really didn't like the way that just a regular television looks. So we incorporated the Samsung Frame TV and hung it on the wall, and it really still did not have the impact. So I found this clever add-on, which we bought on Amazon, which is a frame that just goes right over the television, and it actually sticks right on there with a magnet, and I think it makes it look exactly like the gallery wall we intended. For the dining room, I really wanted it to have a little bit of a throwback to New Orleans. It has this really big long wall that is on the front of the house, again with no windows, and I felt that the space, even though it was large, it felt somewhat confined and dark. So a solution for that space was to apply antique mirror across the entire wall. And we wanted to have the space feel more warm, so we hung art over the antique mirror. We have an original cove above the table that had these really old, gross lights in it. I did some wallpaper up there from Hagen West. We did a motif of birds and clouds, and I thought it'd be a really nice surprise. We use that light all the time. It almost feels like a skylight. We have a china closet, which we didn't even know existed the first few times we had been in the house. It has all the original cabinets in there with the hardware for storing things like plates, napkins, everything that you would otherwise need in a china cabinet, which I did not want. We did a super cool wallpaper by Pierre Frey of a beautiful crystal glassware throughout the space. I went through tons of 1970s kitchen design books. It's a lot of pattern on pattern on pattern, and I just decided to run with it. Love the volume of that space, very high ceiling, it's 11 feet. I wanted to wallpaper the cove with a Fornasetti paper that I've loved for years. We did a very sculptural island base piece in yellow, which is such a happy, fun color. And it really was a way to bring a pop of color in there that would be a good juxtaposition against all the existing walnut. We kept as much of the walnut as we could. We kind of reconfigured everything, and the goal was when it all got put back together, we wanted it to feel fairly original. For the breakfast room, we use daily, of course, for breakfast, and then, dinner as a family. The kids will do homework in there. It's one of the only rooms in the house with an 8-foot ceiling. So I decided to do a white lacquer on the ceiling to really reflect the light that comes in on both sides. A super shiny Italian tile on the floor, and then also bringing in the white lacquer table as well. The wallpaper was inspired by the original paper that was on the wall. It was a grass cloth. I didn't necessarily want grass cloth in there with kids and dirty hands, so we went with a paper that kind of paid homage to that original intent. When we renovated the home, we had original, just simple hollow core doors throughout, and I thought they were just absolutely terrible. So we knew we wanted to change the doors throughout the entire house. This is from True Style. It has a little bit of that 1960s, 70s vibe. I'm really big on texture, and this was absolutely perfect for the space. We did the door itself in a semi-gloss black to really highlight the design, and we think it was a really good addition to the home. So my office is probably the best view in the whole house. It was a space that originally was intended to be the kids' playroom. I vetoed that. I said, no, this is gonna be my space. So I created what we call the studio. I can work in there, but it's also a space where the kids can feel at home enough to come in, do art projects, spread out on the floor. We have a wall unit in there that's full of vintage toys. So it's my office, but it's an area, for more creativity, so we call it the studio. So we are now in a room that we call the cabana. It's a sitting area that's right off the primary suite, and it overlooks the backyard with these floor-to-ceiling windows. Perfect spot for Texas when it gets too hot to really be outside and enjoy the area. So we wanted the room to feel very indoor-outdoor. I did the tinting on the ceiling to really kind of bring in the detail of the canvas awnings that we have outside, and also to tie in the black and white theme that we have on the hall ceiling. We also have the cabana drapery on the front porch. So it was a nice way to make the space feel a little bit more sophisticated, but also very indoor-outdoor. Because we have all these big windows on this side of the room, the rest of the room felt to me very off balance. So I wanted to do something that really felt more like a panorama without art. So we did this wall paneling detail. It has a little bit of a fun edge to it. Again, the space is a higher volume, so it kind of reminded me of growing up in New Orleans. I wanted it to feel a little bit more like an older house in here. So we did the wall paneling, and then I did the wallpaper mural on the inserts to give it the feel that the entire space was outdoors. The primary bedroom, when we first looked at the house, was an incredibly dark room, even though it's a very high ceiling and a large room in itself, but it was just very dark. So I did a Mylar on the ceiling to basically give the room more volume. And there's a cove around the room that has LED lights in there. That was an opportunity to uplight that Mylar to make it feel even larger, but also it was good lighting for, watching a movie at night or, waking up in the morning with nothing too harsh. We do have a set of sliding doors on the room, but they don't go wall to wall. So we did a creative solution there by installing wall-to-wall drapery to give it the illusion that there is wall-to-wall glass behind it. The primary bathroom was probably the most reconfigured area of the house. It was originally set up as 2 separate bathrooms with a sauna right in the middle. It felt very dark, almost like 2 hallways, so we opened the entire thing up. When we were doing a renovation, when we pulled off the old mirrors, we found this really funky 70s wallpaper that was green and white ferns. So that inspired us to do the dark green fernery wallpaper that's in there now. Kept with the overall design intent of the house of doing the lacquered ceiling in there as well. It has the white terrazzo floors. We were incredibly lucky that when we pulled up the walls that were dividing the space, the terrazzo was actually right below them. So we just had to refinish the floor and just kept it exactly intact. I think the end result of this project is a house that we just absolutely adore. We love being here. It's been perfect for entertaining, perfect for the kids to have friends over, and it's just a space we enjoy every day.